What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope you guys are all having a great day as always. I am really happy to be sitting here next to the brand new Sean King Pro model blank skates from Rollerblade. In full transparency, these skates were provided to me by Rollerblade for review, but I'm gonna give you all 100% of my honest opinions about these skates. I've been really excited to get on these ever since, I don't know, about a year ago. Before we jump into the overview of this, I just want to quickly show you what came in the box. Came with a little technical manual like all Rollerblade skates. There is a little tool in there. They also came with some Rollerblade anti-rocker wheels, as you can see in there. And then on top of that, they also have a dual sizing footbed. All these things is basically just a thin, hard piece of, it looks like some kind of plasticky, foamy kind of material, really dense, thin foam. And what this bed, they're calling it the footboard sizer. And so instead of having every single shell size, they can basically just put a foot sizer in. So they'll sell one size shell, and that's gonna be your size 8.5. But say if you are size 8 foot, you would just throw this in your skate. And then you would kind of basically lift your foot up, and which is in turn going to downsize your skate a half size, or so they say. So that's cool. They put these in the box. Yeah, I think that's all. Let's get into the overview. All right, so right off the bat, I have to say, picking these things up, this is a solid boot. It's a heavy boot. I would have to say it's probably one of the heaviest skates I've actually held in my hands. I'm pretty sure they're probably about the same weight as the old Solo Teams. I actually have my old Solo Teams right here. They are a bit beat up. You know, I can't really say if these are much lighter. You know, these aren't apples to apples because I don't have the exact same wheel setup, obviously, but I would say it's probably pretty close. But let's get to the breakdown here. So right off the bat, I have to say this is, you know, one of my favorite looking skates. Big reason is because it's an all black, just super clean, just a very cleaned up version of these over here. Really pretty looking skate. Yeah, super nice looking. On the cuff, we're seeing a difference in the cuff strap. So here there's a Velcro, which as you can see is shredded beyond repair at this point on this guy. I am so happy they went to a buckle system right here. And on top of that, this is a metal buckle, which good job, Rollerblade. On the other side, the receptor here, they have nice protection on the inside of the cuff, where the strap actually goes into the cuff. Great protection for the latch right here. That's nice to see. The cuff itself looks to be quite similar. It's got the same V-cut. You know, they have a little different design here on the plastic than here, but you know, very similar shape cuff. And I better bring this up before anything. These are actually the X3s that I converted into the Solo Team. So literally it's the same thing, but that's probably why you're thinking like, why is there an X3 here? And you know, it looks a little different than the actual Solo Teams did. That's why. So the low cut V-cut in the back here, that looks to be very similar. Very similar. This almost looks to be thinner, to be honest, and this is a thicker cuff backing right here. So this cuff might be a little bit, yeah, it might be just a little hair stiffer, which I'm all for. On the back, you can see the SK with the blank engraved into it. That's pretty sweet detail for Sean King. It's his pro model. I like it, digging it. And then right here we have, I believe on the actual Solo team boots, these were replaceable cuffs, but as you can see here, they are replaceable, which is a good thing. That's the cuff, looking good, looking good. Let's go down. The 45-degree strap hasn't changed too much, looks like. It's still a Velcro piece, just like these old guys here. Though on the other side, if I flip this guy around here, this isn't replaceable on here, while this piece is. As you can see, all the straps are replaceable. A little thicker for the little loop that you put your strap through and pull on, which is just nice to see, just a little more heavy duty. So yeah, I mean, the Velcro 45-degree strap, I think is just a great addition to any skate. I like seeing that on aggressive skates. I love 45-degree straps on my urban skates. As we move on down the skate here, the lacing system, very similar to this old guy here. You know, the same boot, same eyelet design, even the same toe. Just we're missing those air vents right here and here, as well as on the side, the air vents are missing. And then in the back, the air vents are missing, obviously. But, you know, to be honest, I am not a big fan of air vents on inline skates. The things you're getting in pros and cons with air vents. The pros with air vents, they say it's gonna keep your foot cooler. I don't believe it unless you had like a liner that's completely like holy, and you can feel the air. The other positive to killing the air vents is the fact that it's just one solid piece, which technically is going to give you better rigidity and better power transfer through the skate to your wheels to the ground. So that's the big plus for me, is not having that cutouts really is going to help in just structural rigidity for this boot. It will add a little bit of weight, but I'll take that for the looks and the strength of the actual shell. Let's jump into this amazing looking new sole plate we got on here. I mean, take a look at that. The difference in these sole plates we got going here. I mean, look at the bottoms. Side to side, if you can get on both cameras there, I'm not sure. The main difference between these two is, as you can see, this thing wraps the whole boot. These are two separate pieces that you actually bolt on separately. The cool thing about this is, you know, wrapping around the whole boot looks way cleaner, just a better look. The second thing that's good about this is it's keeping these things, while they're strong, technically could have a little bit of creak to them, whereas if it's one piece going around bolted here and here, it's giving you just a little bit more structural integrity than just having something that's kind of like hanging off the side of your boot. The reason I liked these on the old ones was because you could actually get a frame closer and mount it to the actual base of your skate, your shell. That's awesome. I really wish, like, say, the M12s or other skates had the ability to mount your frames directly to your shells of your boots. It's just a better power transfer as well as a lower to the ground ride, which is amazing for aggressive skating. The frame is mounted to your shell here just as it is here. I am so happy they did that instead of going the normal route of sandwiching a complete piece of plastic below the boot in between the frame and having to, sandwich all those things together. Hopefully it slides as well as it looks, that's for sure. In terms of the width, it looks like it may be a hair narrower than the old ones. Yeah, I think the old ones were a bit wider, which was really nice. I actually got these when I started skating again because I was like, man, those things are huge. It's almost like training wheels for grinding again. I mean, look at that negative. It's just absolutely huge. It's like the size of my positive on my M12s. It's crazy. But there's no slouch here. These are still pretty good size. So another thing they've added here, I've noticed on the new ones, you'll notice some like speed dimples right here, the little engraving in the back and the heel section. That's really nice. That's technically going to allow less friction, so hopefully making these slide a little faster. All right, let's jump on down to the frames and wheels, shall we? So the frames, the blank frames, these are a classic frame. I don't think they've changed them at all. Pretty sure it's really just the same blank frame, which, you know, isn't a bad thing. I am very nervous to actually skate these. They're set up flat right now. They did come with anti-rocker. I'm not a big anti-rocker fan, but that's how I skated these. I skated the old ones. I skated the old ones with anti-rockers in, as you can see. And these are an amazing anti-rocker frame. I really, really enjoyed them as an anti-rocker frame, but the last few years I've really just sticking to flat if it kills me. And there's really not much space or no kind of protection for getting wheel bite here if you're skating them flat. You know, if you're skating anti-rocker, I think these are gonna be great for you. If you're skating flat, you gotta be pretty good and make sure you stick your grinds perfect. I'm nervous about that, but I'm going to skate them flat because that's how I skate now, and I'm gonna review them like that. Yeah, they still have the single Allen key design, so you only need one Allen key on one side, because the other side is being held in a triangular shape, which is really cool. I wish more companies would do this, something like this, because I hate aggressive skates. I love urban skates where you just have one tool to, you know, loosen or tighten up your wheels with the race axles. And aggressive skates, usually you have to have two on either side, you know, putting the skates in your legs and, you know, wrenching on both sides. I love just having to just take out one side with an Allen key. That's really nice. That's the blank frames for you. Let's move to the wheels. The wheels are some hydrogen, which I'm super stoked. Hydrogens are one of my all-time favorite wheels. The urethane is just perfect. I love it, and it's an amazing wheel for urban, and I've been on it for years. This is the first time I've actually skated a hydrogen aggressive wheel, and I'm imagining it's going to be just as good in the park. This is a 60 millimeter 92A wheel. 92A is very, very dense, very hard hydrogen wheel. I'm really hoping that's a little overcompensation because, you know, I really don't like skating much more than like an 88, 89, 90 tops. 90 and beyond, depending on the wheel and the urethane, gets pretty slick in the park sometimes. So I'm kind of a little worried about that durometer rating. The profile on these wheels is round, which is nice. I love seeing a nice round profile. I think that's gonna really help when I'm actually on grinds, especially for this small little sole area, that if it does touch the wheel and I'm on it or angled enough, it won't bite completely. And then the bearings in these bad boys are a twin cam ILQ9 Classic Plus bearing. So, you know, one of Rollerblade's premium high-end bearings. So they should be great, nice and fast for the park, sending those airs and whatnot. So that's, I think, all I need to say about the outside of the skate. It is such a pretty skate. It's almost sad to see it get all messed up. But before we go, let's jump inside and check out this new liner. And yeah, let's do that now. This looks way different than the original blank liner. Actually, let me take that out really quick. So the first thing I have to say is the actual height of them is exactly the same. The thickness in these, very similar. The V-cut in the back is almost exactly the same as well. The strap is a little smaller. One thing that these old blank liners, I'm gonna talk about these really quick. The old blank liners were kind of known for was like kind of the first walkable liner. And what they were trying to do with that is have a skate liner that you could literally pull out of the skate and you could walk in it. And as you can see here, there's this like basically a shoe bottom. I mean, these are literally shoes. Like there's some kind of pleather on the front here around the toe box, some kind of a rubbery, you know, thing on the bottom, and then basically a shoe bottom down here. It's basically a sneaker, if you will. They totally did away with that with these new ones. And I would almost, I mean, from the just looking straight at them, you know, these look much closer to a classic high-end aggressive inline liner. I don't know if it's because these new ones haven't been broken in or packed out yet, but they're a little thicker, a little more padding, but it might just be these are so packed out. Ooh, never mind, hold on. Yeah, this whole bit around here is very stiff. I almost would say it's kind of like having the intuitions with that like butterfly support that Velcro's on the back here. These are floppy. These new guys, really stiff. Really stiff, good stuff. As you can see around the back here, on these new guys, we have a little bit of super grippy rubber down the back line here, which is really nice to keep that liner from slipping up in your boot and getting heel lift. The next thing down, let's take a look at the tongue here. So this tongue is nice and padded, nice and stiff, it looks like. Yep, nice stiff, supportive tongue. This is the kind of tongue I like to see on inline skate liners. I don't like that floppy, flappy, gross stuff. This is good stuff. This is, you know, pretty stiff, but it's a lot more floppy than this guy. This tongue kind of helps, you know, the whole top part just really stiff together. This top part is just more of a floppy mess. The heel and Achilles tendon lock inside here is about the same amount of pronounced as this original blank. The other thing too, they're both, obviously you can see they're liners with lacing. You know, lacing liners is a good and bad thing. It's good because you get as much support as you could possibly want. The bad is it just takes that much longer to put on and take off your skates, because usually you got 2 sets of laces you got to mess with, and it just becomes this kind of nightmare almost. But you know, I'd rather have it than not. Looks like we have a nice neoprene toe box that's going all the way from here to here and wrapping all the way around front of that toe. So great for that in-between size stuff where you can kind of push that toe box out and just maximize the volume in the skate. And then on the bottom, they have a semi-grippy, not really super grippy, it's just more of a kind of plasticky bottom. I almost kind of wish they would have kept this super grippy, just thin pad on the bottom here. It's like literally like the bottom of like a sneaker or something. Really, really grippy. I almost wish they would have kept that bottom on the bottom of these. They just would have left out the that foam bit, which just feels like you're putting a shoe inside of your skate. These are a huge upgrade in my book than these guys. So let me go ahead and pull out the footbeds. Ooh, look at that. Nice green. I don't think I have the original footbeds in these, so I won't pull these out. So the footbeds, check that out. This is a pretty premium looking footbed, straight out of a stock skate, and it makes sense. I mean, being like a $330 US skate, it's good to see a nice footbed in here. A little bit of soft padding underneath the heel area, soft foam in the heel. This gray zone over here is super stiff. I don't know, some kind of plastic, looks like. But it helps keep that form and keep that arch up, keep your foot in place inside the boot. The only thing I might say on these is this arch right here might be a bit much for some wider feet. I know these boots are really a medium to wide shell, but this almost feels pretty narrow back here until you get to that forefoot. So that might be a problem for some people, this arch. You might have to get some new footbeds, but not the end of the world. So I don't know if you can see in there, but there is a little indentation in the bottom of the boot shell that lines up with all of this. This sits inside of. Actually, the front of the shell, the front of the boot over here actually has really thick plastic all the way up the front side right here, so that you can have this much footbed. They sunk this inside the bottom of the shell and added some plastic in the front to kind of not just make this feel like it's lifting your heel too much. So, you know, for me, I would have much rather have taken less weight on these skates and just had this lifting my heel up, because that's how I like to skate anyways. What the old one looks like real quick. So here's the old one compared to the new shock absorber. I got too much skate stuff up here. Oh, you know what? It looks like they did have Velcro on the old one. I just didn't notice it. Probably in my boot somewhere, like ripped off. Oh, yep, there it is. So it looks like there was Velcro on the bottom at some point. So anyway, looks to be almost identical. It's negligibly different. Like, that's pretty much the same shock absorber. But you know what? That's a good thing, because these skates were some of the best skates that I've had, just doing like large gaps and jumps, because of obviously this giant cushion on my heel. Yeah, that's the shock absorber. I think I'm done talking now. That was exhausting, but I am really, really excited to get these put back together, strap them on my feet, and go hit up my local park.